What connects French architect Paul Gourdet with the historical center of Almaty? Why is the Jarkent Mosque the single surviving work of Chinese architect Han Pike? Where is Valikhanov's manor house Sirimbiet located? Forgotten names and little-known facts, recent history and national color. All this is in the Grand Buildings program. Best Park in CIS, Capital Park of Astana and its architectural and landscape diversity. Unique floral aspects of landscape architecture of Central Park of Culture and Leisure in Almaty. Ethno-village of Usk-Kamenogorsk, unique project of East Kazakhstan.
Yeah, my name is Gansham and I study here in Astana Medical University, and I came in this park and it's a good place, and so many greeneries and a good place like the water park, and all the things are great over here. The greenery is the most best place, and we can feel the nature over here. And I have been here, it's my first time over here, and I can see everything, it's all good. It's all good.
There's a metal stele with clocks at the entrance to the central parkway of Capital Park. In the space of 2 years after installation, these clocks managed to get a popular name, Big Ben of Astana. People often make dates under it. Clocks are made of marble, which is attached to the steel structure. Height of clocks is about 32 meters. Weather conditions do not work on the clocks. They are fixed and built so that the weather conditions do not influence them. But we cannot say that they keep perfect time for an object of a similar size and located under open air. However, they show exact time. Happiness takes no account of time. Central Parkway is a favorite place for young people. Teenagers and students gather here to keep company and even arrange improvised concerts.
It's
safe to say that this park is the heart of Astana, because all people gather in this park in order to distract from the city's bustle, to gather with family, with friends, and take a walk. We play guitar every time. It can be said that this park is one of the main attractions. And even time when you come to this park, you forget about everything. The park always warms your heart. Because as a child, we often came here with parents. I have very clear memories of this. Near city clocks, there's a composition of 4 grottos. 4 number is not random. Each grotto serves as a symbol of season. According to the idea of the capital's artist, the project is made in mosaic technique. Entrance lobby symbolizes seasons. There are no obvious winter, autumn, and summer motifs, but color scheme corresponds to seasons. Grottos also represent a certain interest. Water flows perpendicularly in them. In hot days, children can swim under these grottos. It is also very popular. Dry Fountain is a special pride of the capital's park. It was built in 2014. This is the first and so far the only artificial source where the bowl is constructively absent. Jets of water like geysers wallow from road plates. On a hot summer day, everybody wants to refresh there. It is special because it is dry. You can go on it until the moment when a stream of water appears as a specifically tuned program. And you do not even understand that there is a fountain here until you see these jets, which rise somewhere higher with a certain periodicity. They rise, fall, and disappear completely. Despite ultra-modern fountains, completed landscape and architectural reconstruction of main parkways, the Capital Park is the oldest park in Kazakhstan. Its story goes to the famous family of merchants Kubrins in Akmolensk. Square along Quay was called Kubrin for a long time. Since the park's foundation until our days, only one tree has survived, which is now 120 years old. Now, one of the poplars that were planted more than 100 years ago is still growing here. That is a huge tree. Black poplar is still alive, and we look after it in the park. Here, everyone finds a lesson to his or her liking. Some people make a choice in favor of active recreation. Others like to laze in summer lawns. Moreover, all of this is right in the center of the city. In this park, we like to have family picnics. There are a lot of space here, and you can just go to rest on the grass and relax. Author of Heart of Astana project, Akmurza Rustimbekova, recalls that 20 years ago, during the capital's transfer, it was hard to believe that trees would grow in the steppe, and one could talk about the landscape architecture and fusion of natural and urban environment. Those little trees were planted in terrible natural conditions. Now I see there are already 5, 7, 10-meter trees. And if you see these trees from the airplane while landing, you understand that it's an interlacing and living in urban environment of this natural component. This is very important. Another architectural innovation of the capital's park is the River of Time. The channel is located at ground level. Water falls from this channel from the cup in shape of the sun. River symbolizes time, which is not only endless but also fleeting. According to the architect's idea, this cup should symbolize a sun. However, our people like to give memorable names to any architectural objects, and they call it Golden Cauldron without a bottom. River of Time flows into the cup, rises up and flows back. In general, the capital park is already developed as a complex. There are recreation areas on water, beaches, and outdoor pools. In the sports sector, there is a ski track with running tracks. Nearby, there are specialized parkways for cyclists and skiers, depending on the season. I visit the park every day. There are nice bikeways and racetracks. Repair works are underway now. They changed the quality of asphalt. There will be strengthening of tracks. It is very good. In the near future, it is planned in the capital park to complete the parkway of national Olympians. Basis of architectural solution of thematic zone was Olympic rings. Here we see Daulet Sports Complex. This building is intended for sport. It was decided to build a small square of Olympians beside it. It is not quite finished, because it is supposed to place all portraits of our Olympic champions and all their achievements along the perimeter of the square. For present, it is a purely architectural structure. Last year, the Capital Park was recognized as the best open amusement park in the CIS. This title was awarded at the 15th review competition, Crystal Wheel in Sochi, where leaders are defined in entertainment and recreation industry. Championship was contested by 160 parks of Moscow, St. Petersburg, Minsk, Tbilisi, and other cities. According to the jury, the Capital Park of Astana was awarded the prize for its multifunctionality. We participated in a nomination of up to 1 million people for the first time, because before the park's attendance was up to 200 to 300,000 for the summer season. It turns out that Astana is a million city. Last year we participated because there were many guests who came to Expo, so we could participate. They moved beyond in the Capital Park. Before the end of the year, they plan to surprise visitors with a small 22-meter Ferris wheel. It will appear on the quay. Central Park of Culture and Recreation of Almaty is one of the oldest in the Republic. It is genuinely fond of both Almaty residents and guests of the southern capital of Kazakhstan. It is more familiar to the older generation as Gorky Park. In Soviet times, people joked you were not in Almaty if you did not walk along its parkways. Indeed, this place has been one of the main attractions for citizens for a century and a half. I think that the atmosphere of the whole Almaty is here. Here we have a festive mood, everything is nice. Everything is colorful. I'm resting here a lot. Nature itself, atmosphere, and aura. I feel that people are happy here. They come to this park only for positive emotions. Children are also happy. Almaty resident Valentina Ivanovna is a real park frequenter. She spent almost 50 years near crowns of these trees. The park and its visitor grew together and matured. Valentina has warmest memories of her youth and adulthood connected with this park. Graduation evening, meeting with my beloved. We had some activities and music scene here. Artists visited this place. Concerts were very interesting. It can be said that we came here every weekend or every holiday. We had a rest. Children grew up here, then grandchildren. I'm going here with pleasure and I will continue to visit this park. History of this unique place began in 1856. At that time, the State Garden was laid here for rest of officers of Verny military post. The first deciduous and coniferous trees were planted by scientist gardener Kryshtopenko. He also studied the local climate and soil structure. Studies have shown that species that were characteristic of climatic zone of central Russia could also grow on the territory of Verny's fortification. In 1868, seeds and saplings from Penza Gardening College and Nikitsky Botanical Garden of Tashkent were brought here. In this park, they began planting carpet flowers first in the Soviet Union, and still these flowers are at the central entrance. It was recognized that the carpet flowers were one of the best in the Union. Luxurious flower beds of Central Parkway have always been a visiting card of the park. Florists and gardeners aesthetically selected varieties of flowers and plants, said architect Akhmurza Rustimbekov. However, modern approach dictates its installation. On the territory of public gardens, squares, and parks, landscape architecture is being introduced.
Хорошие примеры создания ландшафтной архитектуры, да? Это не только там сочетание разноцветных, да, кустов.
Good examples of landscape architecture are not only a combination of colorful bushes, trees, and flower beds. This is not only the creation of some volumes by natural plantations. That is, aesthetic perception is supplemented by it. This may not play the most important role, but it will complement on the contrary.
Была вот дополнена этим. Она, может быть, не самую главную роль в городской среде будет играть, но это должно быть, наоборот, дополнять.
Garden architecture of Soviet period has become a whole era for the park. Socialist realism and classic Stalinist empire dominated it. Various sculptures reveal images of proletarians and pioneers. One of the attributes of this style has survived today. Classic colonnade of entrance portal with stylized capitals meets visitors right at the entrance. Reconstruction of the park was in 1934, and then the arch was laid. Since that time, it is considered that the historic architecture is an arch. It is constantly updated. It changes the tone and its form. The arc of the entrance lobby does not change. It always remains a historical architecture of Almaty. State Garden was renamed as Gorky Park in 1935. Monument to Writer was established in 5 years in 1940. In that period, a unique irrigation system for watering and first attractions appeared. There were recreational centers on the shore of the artificial pond. In 1965, the park was recognized as the best in the Soviet Union, and in 1980, central status was added to its name. Today, the park's territory is located on 42 hectares of land. A significant part is occupied by an artificial reservoir, which is one of the favorite places of citizens. Here you can rent a catamaran or a boat and spend time in a romantic water walk. Numerous attractions will help everyone to find entertainment to their taste regardless of age. Moreover, lovers of outdoor activities can visit the sports complex and aqua park.
Полностью преобразился. Ну, видите, в наше время это наши годы.
It is completely transformed. However, you see, at that time, it was very interesting for us. Now I grew up and it is interesting for me to be here. Many interesting carousels have appeared. Children are happy, many people walking. This park is not inferior to any foreign parks, I will say for sure.
Ничем не уступает западным европейским странам, ничем не уступает, это я точно скажу.
Park with its shady alleys, sunny lawns, and bright flower beds is not only the most popular place for walking and resting of Almaty residents, but also a real ecological fortpost of the modern city.
Я приехал, скажем так, с частным визитом в гости. У меня здесь очень много родственников.
I came here for a private visit. I have many relatives on my mother's side. And of course, I'm very glad that today I visited your ethno-village. I liked everything. There's a place where you can rest, there is something to see. You can be enriched spiritually, and young children can rest here. These inter-ethnic friendly relations are being inculcated. Therefore, I want to thank those people who thought it up and created. I hope that we in Altai Republic will also adopt completely good experience of Uсть-Каменогорск.
Все хорошее, весь хороший опыт перенимать Усть-Каменогорска.
In Uсть-Каменогорск, houses of different nations inhabiting the east of the country were placed on the same street. As a result, the ethno-village has turned out to be only and perhaps the unique park in the whole of Kazakhstan.
Многочисленные туристы, особенно в летний период, наиболее...
We have numerous tourists, especially in summer. The most popular place here is, of course, a unique ethnographic village. Fact is that it is decorated with genuine exhibits. Original interior decoration is of great interest. This is most popular.
И вызывает огромнейший интерес, это вот самый популярный.
Main goal of Ethno-Village is to recreate traditions, way of life, and customs of ethnic groups living in Kazakhstan. Here, everything is restored according to historical patterns. Buildings and courtyards are mostly modern copies. Household items and clothing are real exhibits. Among them, there are those whose age is more than a century.
Данная экспозиция у нас начала оформляться уже...
This exposition was formed in 2010. However, before that, a huge preliminary research work was carried out. According to Russian and Kazakh ethnography, we have already accumulated material, and for small ethnic groups, we started to work in 2009.
Малым этническим группам мы начали с 2009 года.
Ethno-Village was erected 8 years ago in record time in just 28 days. This was a final of enormous work done by ethnographers and local historians. Preparatory work was conducted for many years. Literary sources were studied. There were expeditions, business trips, and consultations with old-timers. We searched people in regions who know this all well. That's why it can be said that it took more than 10 years to collect information on Kazakh ethnography across Kazakhstan. Ethno-Village is located at the Architectural, Ethnographic, and Natural Museum Reserve of Uсть-Каменогорск, and in turn it was created on the site of the former dump of reinforced concrete products, construction, and household waste.
Место было выбрано, наверное, не случайно, потому что это черта города, и она была захламленная, это бывший...
This place probably was chosen not by chance, because it is a feature of the city and it was littered with a former factory of reinforced concrete products. And of course, there was a lot of work done, and I can honestly say it was a great job. Colossal work was carried out, because tons of garbage were taken out. Ground was delivered. They had made the largest plantings. That is, it was necessary to have such a strong will to make such an oasis from an abandoned and littered wasteland. And it was necessary to have purposefulness, greatest desire, and of course, self-belief.
Огромнейшее желание и вера в свои силы.
Left Bank Complex consists of several zones: Botanical, Blue Lake, Silk Road, and Ethno-Village. Architects on the park landscape note that each of them has its own unique method of decorating and territory adornment. For example, the ethnic village and its landscape tend to present not only separate buildings, but also their natural environment and farmlands. But small gardens are made in rectangular and landscape styles.
Архитектура любого парка строится не только на ландшафтном дизайне. Это...
Architecture of any park is built not only on landscape design, but a whole action plan should be held. Landscape design is just a method of design and solution of territory, planning, solution of territory. There is much that can be attributed to landscape design.
Вот к ландшафтному дизайну тут очень много, что можно отнести.
Creators of museum discovered that Kazakhs living near Irtysh in 19th century built houses made of stone, rectangular in shape. Buildings had no foundation, and in most cases, roof was gable and sloping. Windows were small, and the floor was fortified with ground or clay. Most often, such buildings had no more than 2 rooms and a kitchen. It is one thing when the building is already built, and it is another thing to recreate interiors of these houses. For example, kitchen is one interior. Guest room is a completely different interior, and separate woman's room is something another. House of prosperous Kazakh of late 19th century was recreated based on motifs of Abay Kunanbayev's estate. Building's roof is sloping and gable. Floors are made of boards. Windows are glazed. Dwelling consists of 5 rooms. Rich indigenous people could afford a tin roof. For example, we visited the house of a prosperous Kazakh at Jibek. It is Abay's homeland. There is his house museum. We have studied it thoroughly. Therefore, when we created our exposition, we were guided by the way things were located there. Building's prototype of Russian prosperous citizen was a real house, which was in Usk-Kamenogorsk on Krylov Street. A copy was created in a mirror image. Only difference is that logs of lesser thickness were used in construction, but technology of construction was taken into account in exquisite detail. Log construction is one-shaped. Building structure consists of 5 living rooms and an entry. Rooms are plastered inside. Room is heated by 3 ovens. Second-rate merchant could live this way. In interior, there are such features of the city life such as expensive furniture. There is also a metal dish. In particular, samovars, teapots brought from central regions of Russia. Also, there are rich carpets. There are other interesting household items in the atmosphere. That is what reflects realities of that time. In Ethno Village, about 24 architectural objects are represented. Ukrainian and Russian hut, Korean hanok, Georgian manor and Azerbaijan karat, German, Jewish, and Armenian farmsteads. Here is Chechen Tower House. They called on cultural centers of people of Kazakhstan in order to have everything close to original.
Вообще, отдел этнографии народов был создан в 1988 году.
In general, Department of Nations Ethnography was established in 1988. That is, we already had exhibits, but for some nations, for example, Caucasian nations or say Koreans and Uyghurs, we did not have any items and we had to call on ethnical and cultural associations.
Пришлось обратиться к этнокультурным объединениям.
Traditionally, Korean hanok is built of natural materials. Basic materials are wood, stone, and clay. Its main feature is a unique heating system and a warm floor. Entrance doors are double-winged. There are no shutters on the windows. The roof is tiled. Common roof for all adjacent outhouses is a main thing in the German homestead. These houses usually stood sideways to the street. In residential buildings, there are 3 rooms and 2 ovens, 1 in the kitchen and the second in the front room. All these objects were created based on carefully selected materials, photos, and drawings. That is, there is nothing invented by us in these objects. Unique complex was opened by the president of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Nazarbayev, in 2010. Today, it is not only the pride of the region, but of the whole country. Each exposition in Ethnos House acquaints visitors with the life of nationalities who once lived in this territory.